So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourth installment. I thought I was going to quit after the third, but hey, let me try to see if I can make up more stuff to spit in this um, sermon. But if not really sermon, just video itself. So, I literally just got done writing my song titled Try to Change. And I love everything that I said in my third video because, once again, it just speaks miracles in the volume. Because I want people to totally understand. I definitely think that's one of the top things that we need to have in today's culture if we really want to, try to make a change. Is we really need Jesus and we really need God. People need to understand that staying away from church doesn't make you a man, doesn't make you whole, doesn't make you real, doesn't make you godly, does not make you righteous, and so on. I think a lot of people think that it does, which one type of reason why they do everything they can to stay away from it. So I mean it when I tell you that I'm not saying because you go to church that means you're a saint. But we are all sinners on this earth. And what that means is, especially in today's fallen culture, fallen world, you're not going to get any cleaner by staying away from God's house. You're not. Just because this person and that person and yada, yada, yada do whatever they do in and out of church does not mean you have to judge your afterlife on their afterlife, let alone your relationship with God off of their relationship with God, which means judge your reason for not going to church off of their reasons for not going to church, etc. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have in today's society and culture. Of course, you don't need the church to get to God, but at the same time, the church is the house of God, and you definitely owe yourself slash really do need some of that time amongst the flock, etc. And the thing is, if you don't want to go to the physical building with the physical congregation, you could literally have some of that physical congregation at your own house or at someone else's house. So what that means is there's many different ways to congregate, to have Bible studies and more in small groups or massive capacity. There's many different ways, and I think that's one of the top problems that a lot of people, to avoid going to church, they're absolutely lying to themselves about, is all the ways it's broadcasted and all the ways they can get closer, which is literally the top thing that I wrote, or at least one of the top things, or alludes to one of the top things that I wrote about in the last couple sentences of my song titled Try to Change, is that exact fact. That I think that a lot of people, they again are making up any and every excuse to avoid going to church and wonder why they're so broken. Well, really, they don't really know that they're broken or they don't care that they're broken because all they care about is, again, what pleases them or whatever you were to call it. Because I don't have all the answers, but I definitely know how to at least, dice up the equations and hopefully you can, finish the rest and so on. A big part of that, ladies and gentlemen, is just to solidly say the foundation has to be built off of truth and transparency. If it's not, then it's folly and fiction. And that's one of the top things I think a lot of supposed believers, but definitely lukewarm believers, they don't get. If your relationship with Christ, let alone your relationship with your family and your community, is not built off of truth and transparency, that means it's built off of folly and fiction. Let alone you could apply the same thing when it comes to school rules and so on. Let alone political legislator and so on and so on. If it's not built off of truth and transparency, then it's built off of, folly and fiction. But I think a lot of people, again, don't really care whichever one is, built off of as long as they get their money at the end of the day. And that's why the Bible keeps telling us that for the love of money is the root to all evil. Because that means you're not caring about your soul anymore. If anything, you've already sold your soul, for money. And especially in today's times, I wish people would wake up and realize, ladies and gentlemen, you're not, if having the most money got you to heaven, that meant Jeff Bezos, if I'm not mistaken, the richest man in the world right now, if not Elon Musk, one of those two, that would mean all the billionaires in the world go to heaven. If having the most money, let alone just having money in general, got you to heaven. And it doesn't. And that's what I think that everybody is, again, lost and confused about, is not understanding that. Just having money does not mean you're saved. Just because you can, make a living, have your own house, don't mean you're escaping Armageddon. That's something I think a lot of people are brain dead, blind, and delusional to, thinking that because they have made it where they've made it, that's going to save them from Armageddon. It's not. It literally dooms you when Armageddon comes, etc. And I don't think that's, again, rocket science to understand. You're not going to survive doomsday if you do not prep spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I think too many people are replacing mentally, physically, spiritually with materially. And that's one of the top reasons why we have the lost, fallen, deserted, godless in the Banks culture that we do. I say godless in the Banks because that's literally one of the last two sentences that I wrote in my song. And to just give you a glimpse of the song with that slogan or with that sentence, Godless on the Banks is actually a reference to the singer Banks and her song titled Godless off of her third studio album. So that's what that's a reference to. And so on. God bless Banks. I believe she's a phenomenal singer. And I can assure you, I didn't listen to her full third album, but I definitely listened to enough of it, I think. Better yet, I think her second album was her best. From the songs, I listened like three, 4 songs off of Godless. Not Godless. I listened to 3, 4 songs off of her third studio album. And I'm not going to lie, her second studio album was the best. You know, The Altar was the best, if you would have personally asked me. I don't know what she was trying to do on her third. I really wish I knew, but I have not a clue what she was trying to do on a third. And it just didn't sound right, if you were to ask me. There was a couple good songs like Gimme and so on. But other than that, her best studio album for me was The Altar. That's one that I would totally recommend and I would play on repeat, etc. And two of my favorite songs off of the Altar album are Trainwreck. That is extremely dope, and the clean version of the song title is In Love With Myself. The explicit version is You Can Guess, etc. And if you can't guess, just look it up, and so on. And I want people to totally understand that, you know, I love the fact that I'm as lyrical as I am. I love the fact that I do music, I write music, and I look forward to everybody hearing all this stuff going forward, because this is stuff that I'm telling you, it's designed to wake you up in every different facet of which it can wake you up in. It's designed to. It's designed to, you know, hit chords, blow drums, if not hit chords, type drums, and whatchamacallit, and blow trumpets. You know, it really is to signal the sound of war, let alone play the sound of war and signal the end, etc. You know, really just to try to mix a few things there. And I want people to, again, just totally understand that, you know, you're not going to get to heaven just, just by yourself. You're not going to do it. And I'm telling you, similar to literally the best way I can, with 2 minutes left in this video off, is just telling people, you know, if you really believe you're gonna have to answer for your sins in the afterlife by a higher power, a bigger God, and so on, you know, you are going to try to change. Because I can assure you, just telling yourself that you know you have the answer and never trying to change isn't gonna work. And I feel so desperately bad and sorry for all those that think that they're not going to change and think that they're going to heaven like that. You know, there's too many songs out there, lectures and more, telling you, talking with you about life, love, liberty. About life, like about having chances, having that one shot, and what would you do with it? Every day, I would say, is that, every day you're full of shots. But more particularly for the segment, every day you have that one shot. What are you going to do? And God forgive me once again if I'm ever a hypocrite to this purpose in the future, but God knows I try to move around it or move about it the best way I can and put God first. And that's one of the reasons I'm still here today, being able to deliver this message to you. Check out us. More coming soon. Actually, I might go past 10 minutes. And yeah, I'm going back to 10 minutes. And that's what I want people to understand. I don't get it all right. I'm not perfect. But I try what I can to deliver you a fruitful message, you know, from, I want to say from the pit of my soul, if not from the, halos that, that are over my head or whatever, fancy phrase I can use there, to get you to understand that, life at times feels like it's not worth living, but in Jesus, life is worth living. I don't get my self-esteem from money. I get my self-esteem from Jesus. I really meant to write that down in the song, but I didn't get a chance to because I was, too busy writing other lyrical gold. People got to understand that, because everybody that talks to me about, it, they think that money equals my self-confidence. Money equals my self-esteem. Money equals my self-pride. Or money equals my halo or whatever. Or money alone equals happiness. Money alone don't equal none of that to me. Money alone don't equal, and I said it in other videos. Rewind back if you need to. Money don't equal happiness, or money alone don't equal happiness to me. Money alone don't equal sanity for me, and money alone bleeping dang straight will never buy my respect. You need to understand that if you know, if you know anything about me or want to know anything about me. Money alone will never buy my respect. Money alone will never buy my happiness, and money alone will never buy my sanity. Jesus does all three of those for me. Money alone will never buy me confidence. Money alone will never buy me pride. Money alone will never, whatever else third one I can put there. It never will. Jesus does all that. Jesus is my confidence. Jesus is my pride. Jesus is my religion. Jesus is my faith. Jesus is my reason for living, etc. Money alone doesn't fulfill any of that for me. Doesn't do any of that to me. And I think people, once again, they have, I hate to say it, but they have found purpose in all the wrong things, if that's even a thing. And because of that, that's why they have some of the most flawed laws, twisted logic, and messed up views, etc. So I will end this video at 13 minutes. Thank you all for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. You brought a man injured to the city out. God bless. More coming soon. Try to change.